Hello, and welcome to day 19 of the Happiness Challenge. Today, I would like to talk about our attachment to negative beliefs and what can cause that attachment. Why would we want to feel bad? Why do we do things that make ourselves feel bad? So, yeah, let's look into it and question why we might believe the things we do. So I'm going to do a screen share of an activity. It's an adaptation I made of something called REBT, which is Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, which essentially looks at our negative beliefs, and CBT, which is Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, and looks at our negative thoughts. And then scaling questions, which comes from solution focused therapy and looks at sort of our subjective awareness of how we're doing and how we're rating ourselves. So this is an adaptation of multiple things, but I find it is helpful, and I would like to do this for a few of our different days together so you have some practice. Okay, so let's say we start off with someone comes and I ask them, okay, how are you feeling from 1 to 10? And they tell me 10 being the best, one being the worst. They tell me, I feel like a 4 or 3. Like, wow, that's pretty low. It sounds like you're not feeling too good. And then they tell me, yeah, my life is miserable. I'm miserable. Everything's awful. There's nothing good. Like, okay, well, it cannot possibly be true that everything is terrible. So that's a negative belief then. Anything that's not a fact has to be something we look at as a potential belief. So then I'd say, okay, let's boil your belief down. So let's say life is miserable is what I'm hearing you say. And how true does that feel? From 9 to 10 or 1 out of 10. And maybe they say 9 out of 10. It feels really true. Life is just awful. Like, okay, it's not like you really believe this is true. So then we look at the benefit and the harm. Like, why are we attaching to the negative belief? Why are we not letting it go? How is it serving us? Because everything we do, we believe serves us in some way, even if it doesn't, even if what we're doing or believing causes us harm, we think it's serving us. So that's the importance here. Whenever you question and look into things, it disempowers it and it brings the truth to light. So, okay, so usually our negative beliefs serve to protect us. A lot of the stuff we do is to try to keep us safe. So, benefit might be that thinking life is miserable protects you from feeling worse, that it gives you power and control over how you're feeling because you're making yourself unhappy instead of somebody else making you unhappy. So be like, okay, well, that's what you're thinking is the benefit. The harm keeps you in a long-term unhappy state. You're making yourself miserable and you still can get hurt by unexpected things. So the harm is greater than the perceived benefit. So when that happens and you have that realization of that click, then it can help to kind of let things start to go and not be so attached. And then looking at alternatives. Okay, so what are some other ways of reframing this? What are some other ways of looking at this? It could be, oh, you could say, I've gone through many uncomfortable challenges in my life. I can use the lessons from the challenges to help others. I have some happiness in my life, even if it feels small. My life is going to get better. So I'll put this here. My life is getting a little better every day. So, and then we like, okay, these would be your replacement positive thoughts. So and then you rate this too, like how true does this feel? That I have some happiness in my life, even if it feels small. Maybe it feels 3 out of 10 true, but that's okay. It's a start. It's part of the letting go, the loosening of your grip you have on your negative beliefs. And then you question yourself, okay, so now after looking at the alternatives, how do I feel? After looking at positive reframes, other perspectives, Do I feel a little better? Do I feel a little bit like, well, maybe life is not totally miserable? And then another thing that's always really powerful with happiness and our negative beliefs and letting them go or reframing is being compassionate to yourself, saying, how can I be compassionate and kind to myself for what I've experienced and gone through? What kindness can I give myself for my suffering and believing that I have to think these negative things to be okay? Okay. So to sum up, look at your negative belief, which by the way can feel very much like a fact. And then you look at the benefit that you think you have. So I'll say perceived benefit. Then you look at the harm. So this would be the actual harm. And then you look at alternatives. So reframes. Okay. So give you a moment if you want to screenshot it. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Lots of love to everyone. And I hope that your mind and body and everything is just feeling happier and happier, feeling lighter and more like you can have power and control over the feelings you're having and the reactions you're having. And there's a way to navigate and make sense of this all. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.